Welcome to Accelerate My Practice. So glad you could join us here today. Today I want to talk about people who say they're tired of all the work. In fact, I came in underdressed, unshaven, looking terrible because I'm just so tired. I don't know how to do it all. It's so much. You know, doctors asking me to do more. These AMP coaches are asking me to do more, like Barb here. It's just tiring. How in the world can I keep up with it all? Do you ever hear that as a coach?
I hear that very often. And you know, the funny thing is when I stop as a coach, because as coaches we ask questions, I just look at the person telling me how tired they are and how overworked they are because of all the AMP stuff. I typically say, well, let's talk about that. What kind of stuff are you doing extra? And I get a puzzled look.
You know, it's just like shaving and coming into work. I mean, how many times do we have offices? And if any of you listening right now are being caught, sorry. But how many times do we come in, we don't put our makeup on, we don't put our clean scrubs on, they're all wrinkled because we just got them out of the back seat of the car because we slept in the back seat of the car. Hopefully none of you are sleeping in the back seat of your car. But you get the idea. I mean, how often does this sort of stuff happen that we see this in offices? And you might not in yours because yours is a rock star office. But you'd be shocked how often we walk in and see someone looking like this thinking they can pull off a TV show. Forgetting to shave, barely throwing the hair together. I mean, you'd think I got up at 3 in the morning today to go, because I didn't sleep because I was out all night partying. Well, I wasn't out all night partying. I did get up at 3 in the morning, though. But that's a whole nother story. So the challenge that I see with all of this is that we tell ourselves a story of whatever's going on in our world that holds us back. It encumbers us from something different. You know, and I love how you took an office manager once who was doing this. I'm so busy, I can't keep up, I can't take on one more thing. And you asked this person to write out a list of all the stuff. Talk us through what happened there and what the outcome was.
Well, as we were going through our questions, I just said, hey, we want you to work not harder. We want you to love what you do, yet be efficient and run a business. And I said, so can you list all the things that you do? And the response was, well, I answer the phone differently. I went, okay, what else are we making you do? And she went, well, I don't really know. So we had a frivolous list.
Usually in this case, I had a follow-up call afterwards with the same office manager who sort of chuckled and said, you know, when I looked at the list, it kind of made me laugh. You know, it's such a challenge for us to tell ourselves these stories. And it's not that these things aren't based in reality. Every story we tell ourselves is based in reality. The question is the reality bigger than it really should be? Said another way, how often, for those of you that have kids, does the kid wake you up in the middle of the night scared to death going, there's a monster, and you walk in and you're like, I don't see a monster. And they're like, it's over there. You walk over there and it's the pile of clothes on the floor, and because the nightlight's casting a shadow, the shadow looks 10 times bigger than it really is. It's the same thing with our stories in our own heads. Now, does it take more work to do something different? Of course it does, because we're creating a new habit that takes effort, energy, and intentionality. And if you don't live with intentionality, you then tend to just coast through life, never knowing where you're going to end up. But is it really more work? Does it take that many more hours? No, probably not. You know, I love the old metaphor of $86,400. Imagine you were given $86,400 and you had to spend it all today by midnight. And if you didn't, it's gone. What would you do? How would you spend it? What would happen? Because what's interesting about that is, imagine that a bank literally deposits $86,400 in your bank account. And you have today to spend it. And you have to spend it on something useful, something that's going to give you a return on in life, enrich your life, enrich the life of those around you. You can't just go spend it frivolously. How would you handle it? Because every morning, that's what happens. And then there's no balance carried forward. It turns out that there's 86,400 seconds in every single day. Every single day, we're all given 86,400 seconds with which we can do anything we want. We can piss it away, so to speak, pardon my French, with wasting time complaining. We can piss it away on Facebook. We can piss it away driving in circles. which sounds stupid, but how many people do you know that you watch walk in circles, literally in life? I have seen people when they're stressed out, under duress, freaking out about whatever just happened in their lives, walk in circles. And they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm just going in circles. And you walk up and you have to slap them a little bit to shake them out of it. Because that cash, if you will, back to the metaphor, is gone at midnight. How you choose to use it is entirely up to you. So when you walk into the practice every day feeling overwhelmed and complaining about some new thing that Barb just gave you to do, how much time did you just waste complaining about the new thing Barb gave you to do? Would it have been faster and more expeditious to just try it? Because maybe it'll be easier at some point. You know, I think of the show that we shot a few weeks ago where I was talking about, you know, when you come into some new circumstance like hiring us, you're just putting fires out and we're trying to bring you over to this side of living intentionally. And in the middle, yeah, it feels like a lot of work because you're kind of doing two jobs. You're putting out fires and living intentionally. But the minute you cross that threshold, it gets easier. You have 86,400 seconds every single day. What are you going to choose to do with it?
And, you know, just to share a couple stories with everybody out there, I get both extremes. I get the extreme of, oh my gosh, how am I going to fit this in? Then I get the extreme of, hey, you know, you've been here a while, just got a video of this in one of my offices. I just want to thank you and AMP for having us change. You've made an amazing difference in our office. So between here and here, just going to ask you to trust us. Try it, repeat it, see if your job gets better. See if you do well enough that you could be productive enough, that you could be contributing enough, that you can get a raise. Because that's what we're after for everybody. We want everybody to win. It's called running a business.
You know, if you think about it, it's not only your life, it's the life of the patient. How much can you impact them? How can you contribute to them? How do you get them to ideal oral health? Or do you just complain about some stupid thing we asked you to do? It's ineffective. Sometimes you have to push through the pain, so to speak.
What if you could have the practice of your dreams? What's holding you back? Imagine a life where you have everything you ever wanted.